Again, hello and welcome back to 16 Years Now Free. Right, that's the laundrette done. My God, look at some of this stuff. I walked past it a moment ago, and my word, it does look gaudy. I mean, proper, you know, well, I'm not saying anything about the red grass dragons, because I'm in Wales and I don't want to get told off. But some of this, I mean, my tenant would have a dream of some of the stuff that's in here. My word. Right, yeah, I've gone for the lesser of the two, or better of two, I don't know yet. I was staying in a local campsite.
Oh my goodness, yeah, we have.
Yeah, it's either staying at a campsite, but it's like 38 quid, whether it's one person or two person, which I've never quite got. And considering I've just been staying in campsites for £8 a night or a £5 a night, you know, I'm just like, no. So I've decided to tuck myself away in the car park here in Youngens. I can't pronounce it now, bugger. The way it is. And yeah, home for the night. And then the money I wanted to spent on the campsite, I'm going to spend on getting myself a proper meal, hopefully a steak, which is what I'm hoping for. But we'll see how it goes. I might end up at a kebab, I don't know. I fancy either, you know, a doner kebab with some chilli sauce, you know, buddy, or I'll fancy a steak with some peppercorn sauce. So, and the pub that I went into to grab a pint while I was waiting for my washing, they do a rump steak for $13.95, so you can't really argue with that. So yeah, that's the plan. But the weekend, woo, what a weekend that was. My word, it started off Friday night when I was down in the £8 a night campsite, where you saw with all the facilities and everything like that. And I ended up chatting to a load of people there, chatting to the people that own it and some of their friends. That sounds something big, because it is. Yeah, and some other people and loads of people on social media started chatting to me as well, including some of you naughty ladies. You know who you are. Yeah, and then yeah, I was just having a really good time, you know, having a few beers. Don't drink, children, it's bad for you. And then yeah, just had a brilliant night, and then woke up, said goodbye to the people I've been staying with for practically a week, and it cost me grand total £40 for 5 days. You cannot argue with that at all. And then I went up to the new one, which is where I met everybody from the oh god, can't pronounce it, what's it called? It's one of the first, Royal Enfield Owners Club. Brilliant people, but I met them later on. Well, I met one of them earlier on. It's how weird it was. And then I was parked up, and then a load of other bikers came along that got all different bikes and everything, so I started chatting to them. And then I ended up going over to the pub, and I don't know if you've seen the other video from when I was at the pub eating my burger. You had all the kids in the background. I say kids, must have been in the 20s, all trying to, you know, take the mic and make sounds and everything like that. Which, you know, when I called them out, they just like shut themselves up. And the fact of they had a dog with them, they just looked so hard done by for food. So I took all my leftovers and gave it to the dog, which they tried having a go at me, saying, "Oh, you shit about us first." It was just like, well, you know, you can't be bothered to ask, so I can't be bothered to ask. And then stupidly enough was all the blokes that I was chatting to from both sides of where I was staying, the normal bikers and the Royal Enfield group, started turning up into the pub. So they all started talking to me, saying, "Oh, you're doing your videos and everything like that." To which this group of lads, well, like, just went, and it wasn't even intentional. So yeah, then I ended up chatting to Bradley. Brilliant lad he is, absolute brilliant lad. And I'd already had quite a few sherries at that point. And then me and Bradley, because he hadn't been drinking, decided to go down to the local shop and get a few more beers. So then we went back to the campsite. So I was chatting to him about the local area, everything, because he's been like Tanzania and everything like that, which is absolutely brilliant. And then I was just like, right, he's heading off because he's meeting up with his mates from the pub who actually work at the pub. Try not to get myself squashed. Work at the pub. And I ended up going for a wee, and then coming back and sitting in around the fire with the Royal Enfield group and a few other people who started supplying me beers. Yeah, and so I didn't retire until, I think from the fire it was about 2 o'clock. It was absolutely, yeah, it was a brilliant night, and hence why I didn't do any videos yesterday, because I was feeling just a little bit delicate. Oh, was I? I did not feel too happy at all yesterday, but that's just the way it is. And then, oh yeah, I had the rest of my bolognese. I was going to get a kebab, but apparently you got to order online, and it would have cost me like over 30 quid, and I'm about to get 2 pizzas rather than just one. So there you go. Oh, and another little piece of advice about knowledge about this town. If you notice down there, that is the start of the River Severn. My word! And apparently this is the first town along the River Severn, and the River Severn is meant to be the longest river in the UK. Although I thought it was the River Thames. So if anybody else can check that out for me. But yeah, here we are. First town on the River Severn, and hopefully have some decent food later on. I won't get disturbed too much by staying in the car park. Here we are, back at the beautiful William. I've got all my clothes done. I can get changed in a little bit into some fresh clothes, even though they are fresh, they're just a bit worn. And chill out, have a good time, go to the pub later, have decent food. Hope everybody has a great week, and as I always say, take it easy, keep adventuring, and love you, bye.